What up, YouTube? It's your boy Marvel of Matter back with another video, and today what I'm gonna talk about is why you're uncertain if you're handsome. Why you are uncertain if you're handsome. So there's a lot of guys, myself included. I always include. I'm y'all. I'm the same as y'all. Like I go through the same things. I've been through the same things. I've had the same frustrations, the same confusions, the same misunderstandings, all that. I'm not acting like I'm superior in any way, right? I just have a perspective and I understand things, but even for me, understanding things, engaging it in real life, it's still, you still feel the same things, you still go through the same situations, you just get a little better over time when you understand the perspectives you should have, right? But I've been in the position, I know guys in the position, guys who have had extremely like high success with women, have however you define that. They've been in relationships, they slept with a lot of women, whatever it is, however you define it, they've had that. And they still sometimes are like, yo, do I not have it? Like, what's going on? Because you will have interactions that make you feel like that, right? You will go up and talk to a girl and she'll just not look at you and give you one word answers, and and you're like, yo, are you really, you treat me like I look like a monster and I'm coming up to you. Like that's how you treat me. Last week I had situations like that where I walk up to a girl and the girl literally was like not looking at me. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? And it wasn't even like a girl that was super attractive. She was like kind of cute. And I'm walking up to her because my boy wanted to talk to her friend. So I'm just wingmanning. But I'm like, yo, what is this? And it's because we have an expectation, right? We have an expectation of how girls are supposed to respond when they think you're attractive. And we have this unrealistic expectation because we're damn near expecting them to fangirl for us, right? And when they don't fangirl for us, it feels like, oh, she doesn't think I'm handsome, she's not interested. But that's not necessarily the case. Like even myself, like I said, when I'm out, I typically look for like eyes. I'm looking for some high interest. That's just what I'm looking for. And when I get that, I go over, I do my thing, and it's usually exactly what I want. Now, I have the luxury of that typically happens to me when I go out. Like I'm typically going to get at least one or two girls to give me eyes. Like sometimes it doesn't, and it's just like it just is what it is. But typically if I go out, I'm dressed pretty decently. And I pay attention to what's going on. I'm in a place where it's lively, and even if it's not lively, if I'm in a place and I'm in a good spot, and some girls walk by, like I'll be able to make eye contact with some girl that's clearly feeling me, and then I can just go do what I want to do. That happens almost every time I go out. So I have the luxury of doing that, but sometimes it doesn't. And on the nights that it doesn't, or if it doesn't happen that frequently for you, then you still have to be able to, like, even when you see a weaker choosing signal and you go over, it doesn't mean that it's because you're not handsome, right? It doesn't mean that. Like the nights I go out and that doesn't happen, it doesn't mean it's because I'm not handsome that night, right? It's just like there just wasn't a girl that was bold enough to do that. And the more girls that are around, the more girls that will be bold enough to do it. But it doesn't mean that one or two girls thought I was attractive that whole night. But for me, that's just what I like, because that validates my feeling of like, okay, she thinks I'm handsome. But there's a lot more girls that are going to be there that think you're handsome that are not going to do that. They might look over at you whenever you're not looking, when your back is turned, and then when you turn around, they just look away and you never see it. You just never see it, right? Or even situations where you catch her looking, so then you go over, and then when you get over there, she's like not really giving energy, and it's like, okay, well, I saw you looking at me, so I know you was feeling me, but what is this? Now, like I mentioned before, sometimes that can just be a sign of attraction but not interest. But even sometimes it could be interest, but she's just nervous. So now you get over there and she's closed off and she's not looking at you, or she's giving like short answers, or she just seemed like it's weird. It's just like the vibe is weird and awkward. And you're like, okay, I guess you don't like me. Okay. And then you just walk away. But it's like, no, she could have really liked you, but she really liked you, so she's nervous around you. See, we see a lot of these interactions online, and they're only showing the highlights, right? They're only showing the moments when girls are fangirling over them like they're celebrities. Like if you're a celebrity, you should be expecting fangirling behavior. But if you're a regular dude and you're just good looking, you might get that behavior sometimes from certain girls, but you're not going to get that overall on a consistent basis. So for you to gauge your level of handsomeness or attractiveness based on that reaction alone is going to lead you to confusion, and is going to lead you to a low sense of security in your looks, right? You're not going to be secure in your looks if that's what you're gauging it off of. And it's a mindset thing, right? So if you're looking for the validation, if you're not really sure, and then you go up and you have those interactions, the mindset you're going to look at it is like, okay, the way you're going to look at it is, yes, she was fangirling, so yes, she thinks I'm handsome. No, she wasn't fangirling, so no, she doesn't think I'm handsome. And that's just not true, right? But if you have had situations, right, and this is why you need to keep like a cookie jar, right? David Goggins talks about the cookie jar, right? He talks about moments that you've had in the past. He uses it in the context of like hardships, right? So you've had really hard moments in the past. You put them in your cookie jar. You remember the things you were able to get through. And then when you have a hard moment in the present, you pull back from that cookie jar and you say, all right, look, I've been through worse. I've been through this, right? You pull one of whatever it is out that's comparable. You be like, all right, I've been through this. So if I've been through this, I could get through that, right? Now I'm saying use it as far as like your situations with women. Okay, I've had a bad joint, clearly interested in me, eyeing me up and down. We had good interaction. Whatever you did with her, you did with her. You had a relationship. You had a one night stand, whatever it is. But you've had it with this bad joint, or you've had it with multiple attractive women, right? And that has been your experience regularly enough. Put that in your cookie jar and know, okay, now I'm talking to this girl. I've been with a girl that looks like this. There's no way that this girl is just really not feeling me like this. She's got to be nervous, right? She's got to be nervous. You solidify, you take the good times and you use that to solidify the fact that, and validate the fact that I'm handsome, because that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't have happened if you weren't handsome. But it's just not a common response that women have to be bold like that. So when you do get those moments where they are bold, you need to hold on to those moments and understand like, okay, this is my reality. So these other responses that I'm getting, these are just girls that don't behave like this, but this is still the reality. I'm still handsome. So when you walk up to this girl with that mindset, and this girl is not looking at you and she's looking away and she's like acting awkward, you're like, oh, that's cute. She's shy. She's nervous. She's intimidated that I'm talking to her, right? It's a different mindset because you know, because of what you've been through, you know, bro, there's no way I'm ugly. There's no way this happened, and this happened, and I'm just an ugly guy. That's not true. So she really might not be feeling you as much as they were, or whatever the case may be, but you can't reject yourself and you can't be insecure in your own looks, because then your mindset is going to be off. And even if she is interested but actually shy, and you know it's clear you're jaded, your perspective is going to be tilted negatively, and you're going to be like, oh, she's not interested, unless you have that security in this, in knowing like, yo, I'm a handsome dude. I've had in those situations, I'm a handsome dude, right? That's how you got to approach it, because like I said, if you don't, you're going to reject yourself. And then you're going to be awkward, right? It could be awkward on her. Like, it's cool if she's nervous, but if you're nervous, now it's two nervous people just fumbling around, like now it's dead. Now she's going to be like, oh, he's weird. Oh, this is so, or even if she doesn't think you're weird, she's going to think, wow, I'm being so weird. There's no way he likes me. Let me get out of here. Right? She's like, this is so weird. I'm making this so weird. And she'll pull herself out of it. You have to be the secure one. You have to be solid in knowing. And like I said, I know personally that that's not always easy. When that girl last week was looking at me, or not looking at me when she was talking, I was like, yo, are you interested in me? Like, I was like, because if not, I was like, I mean, I really was just over here talking because, you know, my friend wanted to talk. But I'm like, if you're not feeling this, I was like, let me know. And then I shouldn't have said that. I think that offended her. And then she was like, okay, well, nice to meet you. because when we walked away, she was like complaining to her friend about, you know, the situation. She was like looking over and like mad and complaining. So I think she was just, that's kind of what sparked this video. I think she was just nervous and uncomfortable a little bit, because I saw them kind of looking. So I think she was just nervous and uncomfortable. And then once I said that, it was kind of like, oh, all right, well, whatever. Because like I said, later that, I told the story, because later that night, a girl that was way more attractive than her was the one that was giving me eyes and calling me cute, telling me I'm fine, like all this stuff. So there's no way I just didn't look good 20, 30 minutes ago, and then now I look so fine that a girl that looks better than her is interested in me. It's just my perspective was off. My perspective was off. I didn't look at it like, okay, this girl is just nervous. I pulled up on her. She didn't really give me any signs or signals, so she was caught off guard. She wasn't really like, you know, it was abrupt. So she responded in a certain way, right? Or it could have been that she was disinterested. Who knows? But it's just better for me to have the mentality that I'm handsome. I know I'm handsome, and she just happened to be nervous about it, uncomfortable. And then I was validated later that night, so it made sense, right? Something to put in the cookie jar. But yeah, fellas, that's why you're not sure. You have unrealistic expectations of how women are supposed to respond to you when you're handsome. It's not always going to be, you know, they walk up to you enamored and looking like, you know, or you walk over to them and then they immediately just like are super receptive. Like that's something that even I, like I said, I struggle with, and I have to remind myself. Some girls are just intimidated. It's part of the game. A lot of girls are going to be intimidated, or not, even if they're not intimidated, they just like to not show interest so they can kind of keep some leverage, right? That's another thing. They want to keep leverage, so they are trying to not show interest like that. And a lot of times the way they do it comes across as like you're doing something wrong when you're talking to them. You're being creepy, or you're this, or you're that, but it's really just them trying to hold themselves back from showing their interest. You know, that's a lot of times what it is as well. So that's the video for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Drop some more topics in the comment section. I got my coaching calls in the description box, Instagram in the description box. And y'all know what it is. It's mind over matter, Marvel over matter. Let's get it.